I never thought I really need to have children, otherwise I feel, I don't know, incomplete or unhappy. I always thought if I find the right partner.
こんにちは。そしてはじめまして。百の花のゆきです。百の花では子供のいない女性100人にインタビューをしております。そしてその100人の皆さんの背景には、子供が欲しい、欲しくなかった、わからない、身体的な理由とか、お相手の方が望んでいなかった、独身、死別、そして多国籍の方とさまざまな方をお呼びしております。今日のゲストはイタリア出身のサンフラワーさん。私はね、よくサンフラワーさんとお茶をしに行くんですけれどもね、そのね約束の仕方がポッと突然電話してきて、今日空いてるっていう感じで、パッとこうジャケット取ってね、で2時間ぐらいお話ししてっていう、そのスタイルがすごく好きで、いつもね彼女に会うたんびにほっとするというのと同時に元気をいつでももらってます。そんなサンフラワーさんからどんな話が聞けるんでしょうか。お楽しみください。Hello, Sunflower.
Hello, Yuki.
How are you?
No, I'm good.
It's a bit cold today.
Yep, it's been
Yeah.
cold and humid as this period is.
Okay, so to start with, can you tell me your age and what do you do for a living?
I am 58 years old
Mhm.
and I'm a language teacher. I teach Italian for places in Tokyo.
That's cool. So, Sunflower, where are you from?
I am from Italy and I live in Japan. I live in Tokyo. Been living in Japan for about 22 years. I live by myself. I am not married.
Do you enjoy living in Japan?
Yeah.
You have
I
to
do.
say yes.
I have to say yes, of course. I cannot say no. No, I do. It's a safe country. It's a good place for a woman to live by herself. Probably better than other countries.
Maybe Japanese people might not know how safe for women is.
What we hear about in other countries, it might be quite dangerous. But even in Italy, it's kind of a little bit dangerous to go out in the evening and go out by yourself, and it can be quite tricky, yeah, to live by
Yes,
yourself. But
yeah.
Japan is, I think, definitely the safest country in the world.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sure. I like to walk, so I often walk in the middle of the night. I meet people with the dog, and I feel very safe. Like even walking in the park, I have a park near me. I feel really safe. In Italy, you wouldn't walk in the park in the middle of the night. Or so you don't have anything open in the middle of the night. But in Japan, it's very, it's useful to have some place you can go and buy for emergencies.
That is my favorite part of Europe. I don't know Italy, but in Sunday nighttime, it's really peace and quiet.
It's nice. That's a nice thing. But on the other hand, it's dangerous
Sure.
because it's peace and quiet. You never know who's behind you or around the corner.
My husband's still surprised that many girls like high brand Louis Vuitton Chanel bag to put for the kids the seat or the
But even like you can leave basically your telephone or your iPad or your computer. Nobody touches it. Well, it's better to be careful in Japan, as you said, of course, but it's rare.
It is. How do you currently have no children?
I never thought I don't want children. I never thought I really need to have children, otherwise I feel, I don't know, incomplete or unhappy. I always thought if I find the right partner who wants kids and I feel comfortable with, and then I could, but it never happened. And now it's definitely too late. Well, I mean, I guess I don't have a partner partner currently. So if I find a partner with kids, I will welcome them. But
Yeah. So like
I'm
a girl
not
with a
against
dog.
kids. I'm not against. I don't feel bad that I don't have kids.
Question 3. What do you feel about having no children?
I like other people's kids. Yeah, I'm not happy that I don't have them, and I'm not sad that I don't have them. I'm neutral.
When you were in 20s or 30s, you had the same idea.
Yes,
Always same idea.
yes.
You have no regret. You have
No regrets. No,
yeah.
I never think about it, really. I see a lot of people with kids around. It's nice to see them. I like to see if that's, but I never feel, oh, I would like to be them.
So I would like to ask you what you think. The percentage of married women not having children is rising lately by their choice. What do you think about it?
I think that a lot of women, well, there are many different reasons, I think. Some women are find their reason for leaving, not necessarily in having a family, but maybe in their job and their, like being able to have their own realization in life, in another way. Not before, we kind of had, like, not only in Japan but in every country, I think almost everywhere in the world, it was like kind of a, like the woman had to get married and had to have a family, otherwise one wasn't complete. But now a lot of women don't feel like that anymore. They're more free to decide of their future. And it is difficult to have kids now because you need to have a lot of money. You have to have like a very, like economically is very, very hard. And I don't think that they feel bad about it.
Sure.
I think they feel like I feel. They feel like they probably they kind of dedicate their lives to something else, to possibly their job, probably.
I guess it's a wrong to judge someone's decision, especially life decision. So it's all up to them.
I agree completely. It's wrong to judge, and it's wrong to judge a woman. She has kids or she doesn't have kids. She's married, she's not married. It's not like there are a lot of women who are completely happy with no family. Of
Yeah.
course, I would like to have a partner, but I'm fine without it. So I think that a lot of people like that. I don't think that not having kids means that it's not worth it. And I understand in Japan it's probably how can I say, like, slow to change
Yeah.
compared to other countries, I
Yeah.
guess. Like,
Definitely.
I know in Italy there is this thing, like a lot of people ask you, are you married? You don't have kids? Why you don't have kids? Why? Kids are the best thing that you can have in your life. You're you know you don't know what you're missing. Actually, it's a very, very, in Japanese, a shitsurei question, like, yeah, it's a really something you should never say to someone.
And
Because,
how do you respond for those questions?
well, I mean, I respond like, I'm happy for you that you have them, that you had the experience. I'm fine with that. And you never know how much, pain the person can go through about this argument, this subject, right? So, like, making these comments or thinking that is completely, or judging a person is completely wrong, and you can make someone really suffer a lot.
Even if people asking unwanted questions, as long as you have your core idea in your mind, it doesn't bother you. You just respond, yes, I don't have children. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying my life.
Well, it depends if it's something that it's painful for you or not. Sometimes, like, people asking these kind of questions can actually touch something painful in your life. So that's difficult to answer. So maybe it's not always so easy to express yourself when someone asks you something senseless, kind of like.
Okay, so the next question.
Any advantages of not having a child?
Oh,
I thought that I was answering to having disadvantage.
I mean, do you feel any disadvantage? And your answer is, I only think that having children might help you having someone taking care of you when you are older. That's the big discussion among this group.
I think that probably what a lot of people think that some people, that's the reason why people have kids in the first place, to have someone to take care of you when you get old. So I can understand that you might miss that kind of, like, someone taking care of you when you're older, but not always the case. Like, it depends what kind of relationship you build with your kids, how your kids, if they live with you, if they don't live close to you, you never know. You cannot have kids thinking about that. You cannot so much pressure on them
Mm.
to be there when
Mm.
you're older,
Yeah.
and then when they are not there, then you will resent them.
When I was in New Zealand, I was working for where we call aged care for retirement people. And it's interesting to see that the people having the final stage usually doesn't really matter if you have children or not. Even if you have many children, like you said, they all have their own busy own life. Some people doesn't have any children's visitation. Some has no children but constantly visit some friends, and some doesn't have any visitors. But it doesn't measure for their happiness or anything. It all depends on how you see your life.
Basically, yes. At the end of the day, that's what it counts, more than, like, basing your life, basing your to have, like, having a family and having a lot of kids just for that. I mean, I hear it many times that, so you don't have a kid, so who's going to take care of you when you're older? That's something that you hear still everywhere. I guess it's probably more older people that think that. Maybe younger people don't think that so much, but it's still somewhere there in your mind. So when you ask me, do you feel any advantages of not having child? I feel a disadvantage. Personally,
Mm,
I don't think I feel any disadvantage. The only thing that comes into
mm,
my mind is that,
mm,
because probably that's what people
mm,
keep saying, and so that's what, like, oh, what am I gonna do when I'm older? I don't have any kids coming to see me. But what you just said about where you were working,
mm,
that that actually shows me something different. Thank you. I had some thoughts about that, because when I started living in Japan, my parents were already kind of old, getting older, and so I knew they wanted me to go back at a certain point. But my life was here. I thought for a long time, should I go back? But if I go back, they lived in a really small island where not so much to do, actually. So I would have, I mean, to make sense go back for them, I would
mm,
have to go back to their place. So sometimes I was feeling they were saying, "Oh, you're not coming back." Kind of like, I don't know, like, it's
mm.
not, like, I understand their stood that feelings, but it was kind of putting me in a difficult situation, because I would have gone back just for them, not for
Yeah.
me. And I don't honestly think that doing that at the end of the day will make them happy, because I would be probably unhappy to be back. So I think that a parent should be happier when their kids fulfill their own lives, in whatever way they do, wherever they do it. It might be on the other side of the world, like in my case.
Right.
That's what that I ended up doing. I ended up going back to Italy as much as I could. And every time I was going back to Italy, I was staying, like, even twice a year, staying with them the whole time. I have a sister, like, so I know that she was making more efforts toward them than me, because I was there. I mean, not she wasn't living with them, but she was very often with them and helping them with the bureaucratic stuff, all that stuff, and medical stuff. But still, I think that my sister wanted to do them. She was feeling kind of, responsible, and I'm really grateful. But
Mm.
I think that I did the best thing that I could do, and I don't really have regrets about that. I did my best to be here in Japan 100% when I'm here, when I was here, and 100% there when I was there with them.
Okay. So the next question. What do you enjoy to do your spare time?
I like it to, to do a lot of things, a lot of watching a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. But what makes me the happiest the most is traveling.
Oh, that's good.
While I was working at home, every time that I had few days off, I was going somewhere in Japan. Since I couldn't go overseas for more than 2 years, I had my goal to go to every prefecture in Japan, and I just went to all of them.
You completed!
I completed, yes. Yeah. So happy. Like for me, like putting my feet on a train is like the happiest thing. Even when I go to work, actually. Like taking the train, it feels like you don't know where you're going, basically. Traveling makes me so happy to know new places, to meet new people. I like to travel by myself and go to see people. That's another possibility. So you stay with them, you have dinner, lunch, you do some sightseeing with people, but you have your own, freedom at the same time.
Which one is your favorite place?
My favorite town in Japan is Nagasaki. Yeah, Nagasaki. It has so many different things. It has history, good history, well, bad history a lot, but it's really interesting. Like the Christianity, I mean, the Christians how were they were treated, and of course the atomic bomb, and like the fact that there were a lot of foreigners, like Chinese, Dutch
Mm.
people. I'm half Dutch, so I have some connection with that.
Oh,
And English people, like a lot of foreigners, like in the past as well, like many years ago, where went to Nagasaki for economic reasons, and so you can feel that in kind of international atmosphere there.
oh,
A lot of interesting stuff. I like that.
right.
So,
What else?
I like Tottori. Tottori. I like the sand dunes and the sand museum. I think it's one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. Sand museum.
In what way?
It's like incredible. Like when you enter the museum, amazing what they can do with sand, and it's just sand and water. They're making like sculptures that are so big and detailed. Like, it's like incredible.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Working, and
know
I
that.
don't June, July. I don't remember exactly when they open again with new sculptures, completely new theme.
That's a very nice reminder for Japanese.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, I've been doing the walking along the Tokaido from Tokyo to Kyoto. That's another really nice thing to do, is to learn about the country, the history of the country. I didn't finish yet, so I arrived to almost Nagoya, so I can say that between Tokyo and Nagoya, I know the way between Tokyo and Nagoya.
Wow, that's so inspiring. Thank you, Sunflower. Okay, so the next question is do you have any dreams or goals of your life?
Yeah, in a way, I'm living my personal goal, I think, because yeah, I never thought I would become a teacher. So I never thought I had the skills or I would be able to do it. I didn't really have a lot of faith in myself for a long time. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I was older, what I wanted to become. I didn't, some people are very, how do you say, goal driven
The
from the very
specific
beginning,
goal. Mm.
very, very determined to become
Mm.
that thing. Like, I don't know, become an actor, become a singer, be whatever. I've never had that. So I kind of ended up coming to Japan. I ended up being a teacher, because that's what a lot of foreigners do when to stay in Japan. Then at the beginning, it was like a super big challenge, because I didn't think I could do it. And then I started doing it with a lot of passion, and I started liking it a lot. It gives me a lot of satisfaction. As my personal goal, like the biggest goal, is like to be able to become always a better teacher, and that's what I'm doing every single day. I'm being the best bridge between the two countries that I can. It's not just teaching a language, but it's teaching my culture. And of course, I have other goals, smaller goals, and because I like to travel, just to say it again, like I like to go to more. to as many countries as I can and to meet as many people as I can.
I like that because you're saying when you were younger, you don't know what you want to do.
No,
But
really.
even you came here and you start teaching Italian, you are not sure, but now you enjoy it. I think because that's the result of taking action.
Yeah.
If you don't take any actions, you are still in the same spot and you don't know what you like it. I heard so many people don't know what to do, what is their passion. Like listen to your story. Taking action is a one big step of the answer, what you really find out, what you really want to do.
Yeah. If you don't try, then you will never know what you actually more. I mean, I'm challenging myself. I make a lot of mistake and I don't, but like taking action, I think instead of just thinking, what should I do? What should I do? What do I like? What should I do? Well, you can start from what you like, of course. I didn't even know really what I like, but then I decided to come to Japan, and that was a big, come to Japan living with actually I came here with nothing basically. I came here with no job. I did Japanese for a little bit, but then I had to go back to Italy and then I decided to come back. And I didn't have anything. I didn't have a visa, I didn't have anything. So I had to build slowly. I was really close to Buddhism and I wanted to know more about Japanese society. Japan was very, I don't know, it's like 魅力的. How do you say it in English?
Attractive.
Attractive.
Excellent. Wow, what a story. Okay, so unfortunately, this is gonna be the last question. What is your definition of happiness?
I think for me, happiness is being able to wake up every morning happy and feeling appreciative about who I am, how I am, and what I have and what I have achieved in my life. Being able in the morning to not only being appreciative and happy, but even like thinking, oh, today is another day that I can do something nice. So I can meet someone nice. So I can, like feeling this kind of excitement in my life. This is happiness, I think. Well, it takes effort. Not it doesn't come. It's not depending on outside on what you have. So what I meant to say, like especially talking about kids, like not having kids doesn't mean that you're not happy, or having kids doesn't mean you're happy either. Being happy doesn't depend on what you have and what you don't have. It depends on what's in your heart, basically. If you want to have a child, I think to kind of fill a hole in your life because you're missing something, I don't think that your child will make you happy, and actually it might be possible that you make your child miserable as well.
So, what would you do in the morning? You feel tired, don't feel any positive. What would you do? What for changing?
I kind of said earlier that I'm Buddhist, so I do my Buddhist practice in the morning to be able to kind of raise my life state every morning to feel more open to basically to life, to my day, to whatever happens in my life, and stronger. But another thing that I do is not in the morning. I think it's in at the end of the day. It's like making an effort of being appreciative. Like some years ago, I started doing like kind of like especially when I don't feel so happy about my day and don't see so many positive things about my day. I try to make a conscious effort about feeling gratitude. So like make a list of just start with three things maybe or five three things that I can be appreciative of that happened during the day. And I start sometimes because if I don't see anything, I start, oh, today was a sunny day. And then the funny thing is that when I start thinking the three things, it generally comes more things come out and my life stage changes completely. This is kind of a tip. It can be the smallest thing. But another thing is important, I think, that my definition of happiness, it's important your relationship with other people. So for me, happiness is also trying to help and encourage the people around me to feel the same way I do as much as I can, even if I live by myself. And especially after these 2 years when didn't really have a lot of contact with people, it was kind of hard. But at the same time, I always try to encourage people by phone or, Zoom encounters and stuff like that. And that's really important to actually, try to support people around you, even people we don't know, like,
Mm.
like saying hi to the people, to the neighbors. And
Mm.
in Japan, doesn't happen so much. Like you can meet people every single day for a long time and nobody says anything to you, especially if you're a foreigner. So I generally start smiling and say good
Oh,
morning, and then after a while, almost everybody kind of like starts saying back,
that's so true.
smiling back or something. I can make a difference on a per person day. So I think making that kind of effort is important.
It's a small thing, but it reflects on your happiness and others. It's really nice. Okay, sunflowers then. Thank you very much being here. And I look forward to talking to you soon.
Yes. Thank you very much
Okay,
for giving me this opportunity. And yeah,
my
good luck
pleasure.
with your 100 blossoms.
I will. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye bye.
いかがでしたでしょうか。イタリア出身のサンフラワーさん、日本で暮らして22年になるっておっしゃってました。日本に来た時はね、最初はビザもなくて言葉もわからなくて仕事もなくて何もないまま来たのよっておっしゃってましたね。なぜサンフラワーさんが日本に来たのか、それは大学で日本語を学んだこと、そして仏教に興味を持ったサンフラワーさん、実際の日本の生活ぶりを見てみたかったとおっしゃっていました。その後イタリア語の教師になるわけですが、この教師という仕事がね、学生だった時代から先生は好きじゃないし、教員っていうものを勉強したわけでもなくて、成り立ての頃はね、葛藤ばかりだったっておっしゃってました。ところが何年か経つと、次第にそれが自分のパッションになり、今では自分の仕事にやりがいを感じているっておっしゃってました。最後に自分の人生の目標は何ですかって伺うと、私はもう目標通りの生活をしていますっておっしゃってました。それは自分のやっている仕事を愛せていること、そして毎日持っていないものを数えるのではなくて、何を持っているか、何を達成できたかをフォーカスしているっておっしゃってました。だってね、何をしたいのかわからなかった若い頃、無我夢中で日本に滞在したいという目的でイタリア語教師になったものの、葛藤が続く中で、今はそんな仕事を愛せてるんだっていうこと、そしてありのままの自分、私はどういう人間であるかっていうことを愛している、認めているっていうことですね。毎日何を持っていないのかではなくて、何に到達できたか、何を自分が持っているのかっていうことにフォーカスしていますっておっしゃってました。でね、そんなサンフラワーさんに、でもねって、朝起きてなんか冴えないなっていう日だってあるでしょって、そんな日はどうしてるのって聞いたら、彼女はね、仏教徒なので、その毎朝仏教の教えを実行してるっておっしゃってました。でそれがね、冴えない日でも精神を高めてくれるのよっておっしゃってました。それでも落ち込む夜は、どんな小さなことでもいいから、今日起きた良かったこと3つを思い出すんだっておっしゃってました。天気が良かったなとかね、そんなちっちゃいことでもいいのよって言ってましたね。で、そんなことをしているうちに3つ以上かどんどん出てきて、それがやがて気持ちをね、自然に上げてくれるんだって言ってました。そして彼女のもう一つの心得は、他者に何か奉仕をすること。で、これもね、大きなことじゃなくていいのよって言ってましたね。例えば道でよく顔を合わせる方々、実際にね、個人的に知ってるわけではないんだけれども、なんとなくお決まりの顔ぶれ、そんな方々に自分から挨拶をするようにしてみたっておっしゃってました。するとね、 向こう側からも挨拶が返ってくるようになったっておっしゃってましたね。こんな日常のことがみんなを笑顔に変えてしまうんですね。旅行が大好きっていうサンフラワーさん、都道府県全部ね制覇したって言ってました。今は東海道53条ね、ずっとこうねコツコツ巡っているそうです。私はサンフラワーさんに会うたんびにこのね旅のお話を聞かせてもらって、そうだな、日本もいいなって改めて気づかせていただいてます。コロナの時にサンフラワーさんどうしてるのかなってよくね考えてました。彼女はね公園を一人で散歩したり、ズームでイタリア語を教えたり、メンバー集めてねこうズームでね近況報告をし合ってるって言っていました。でね、会おうよって言ってもね、コロナだからダメよなんてねきつく言われちゃったりしてね。でもね、サンフラワーさんお誕生日の日にはコロナの中お友達がね駆けつけてくれて、玄関にプレゼントをかけてくれるなんていうこともあるぐらい、信頼あるお友達がねサンフラワーさんの周りにはいらっしゃるみたいです。私はねこの彼女の強いところと優しいところっていうのがねとても魅力に感じています。自分に挑戦し続けるサンフラワーさん、仕事でも旅行でもそこに道があるから歩いていく。やがて思いもしなかったゴールにたどり着き、それをね大きく言えば人生の喜びとして捉えているサンフラワーさん。こんな発想でいるサンフラワーさんだから、子供がいるとかいないとかで幸不幸を決められないのよっておっしゃるのかもしれませんね。さまざまな事情があって遠くイタリアに住んでいるご両親を思うように介護できなかったサンフラワーさん。結論として今の自分がいる場所で 100% であること、それが最大の親孝行でもあり、自分自身への自分孝行でもあるのかもしれないですね。そんなサンフラワーさんが今日も日本のどこかでイタリアと日本の架け橋のようにねイタリア語を教えているんじゃないかなと思います。鳥は世のひまわりの歌。もしバラがひまわりになろうとしたら、その美しさを失うだろう。もしひまわりがバラになろうとしたら、その強さを失うだろう。それでは今日はこの辺で。See you soon, flowers!